Hi, welcome to my video on solve a quadratic equation by factoring, part 1. Solve by factoring. Steps we're going to use is number 1, express each equation as ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0, where a is not 0. A is greater than 0, which means it can't be negative. And I want no fractions and no decimals. That's the way I'm going to work it. And factor the left side. Use the property of zero products. And note, quadratic's degree 2 equation has 2 factors. So let's do some examples. Solve for x by factoring. And when we solve by factoring, have it equal to 0, which we do. Factor. I see a GCF of x. X is common, so I take the x out. X squared divided by x is x. 2x divided by x is 2. Now we have the 0, the property of zeros. So if x times x plus 2 equals 0, then x can be 0. Or x plus 2 can be equal to 0. So x is equal to negative 2 by moving the plus 2 over. So when we solve, the solutions are 0 and a negative 2. There's 2 of them. Again, it's 2 because it's a quadratic. B, x squared equals 6x. So x squared minus 6x equals 0. And we're going to solve by factoring. And we have x as the GCF. So x squared divided by x is x. Negative 6x divided by x is negative 6. So we have the product, 2x and x minus 6. So we let x equals 0, or we let x minus 6 equals 0. X is 0 and x is 6. And move it to the right side, make it plus. And there's 2 solutions, 0 and 6. C, we have to make it equal to 0. So in descending order, x squared minus x minus 6 equals 0. And we're going to solve by factoring. Now we have a trinomial. And so what we have, the negative 6 is the product. The sum is negative 1. So the factors of 6 are 1 and 6 and 2 and 3. So what factors multiply to give you negative 6 and add to give you negative 1? Well, it must be 2 and 3. But the product is negative, so one of them has to be negative. Since the sum is negative, it must be plus 2 minus 3. So we're going to factor. Notice there's a 1 here, so when there's a 1, you can go x, because that gives you x squared. The factors are plus 2 minus 3. And x plus 2 is equal to 0, or x minus 3 is equal to 0. X is equal to negative 2. X is equal to 3. So there's 2 answers, negative 2 and 3 are the solution. Again, you have a quadratic x squared, so you have 2 roots, or 2 solutions to the equation. D, again, we have to make it equal to 0, so x squared plus 3x minus 4 equals 0. The minus becomes the plus, and the plus becomes the minus, moving it to the left. And again, we have a trinomial. We have a 1. Because we have a 1, the product is the negative 4. The sum is the plus 3. And so the factors of 4 are 1 and 4 and 2 and 2. What factors of 4 give you 3? Well, it must be 1 and 4. The product again is negative, so it must be a plus and a minus. To give you 3 must be a minus 1 and a plus 4. So because there's a 1x squared, then that makes it easy to factor x and x. And the factors are negative 1 plus 4. And we make each factor equal to 0 because there's 2 of them. So we can, and we solve, we get x is equal to 1 and x is equal to minus 4. So 2 solutions of 1 and negative 4. E, we have to make it equal to 0, so it's 2x squared minus 7x plus 5 equals 0. Again, we have a trinomial. But this time we have a 2 here. Notice the 2 cannot come out. The 2 is not the GCF, so therefore the product is A times C. So it's 2 times 5. The product is 10. The sum is negative 7. So the factors of 10 are 1, 10, 2, and 5. Which factors of 10 give you a 7? Well, it has to be 2 times 5. 2 times 5 gives you 10, and they had to give you 7. But the product is positive, the sum is negative, so it must be 2 negatives. So check, multiply negative 2, negative 5 gives you 10. Add negative 2, negative 5 gives you negative 7. So because that 2 can't come out, we take the negative 2, put an X with it. We take the negative 5, we put an X with it. Now, the two of these terms will add up to give it a negative 7. So the GCF, we will group the terms. I'll underline them. I'll take a 2x out of the first two, gives me x minus 1. I'll take a negative 5 out of the next two, and I'll get an x minus 1 equals 0. Notice that x minus 1 is the common. So what's left? We get a 2x minus 5. Now we have two factors, x minus 1 equals 0, or 2x minus 5 equals 0. X equals 1, 2x equals 5, divide by 2, x equals 5 over 2. So the answers is 1 and 5 over 2. F, we have to make it equal to 0 in descending order, so it's 3x squared plus 6x minus 45 equals 0. 45 moves to the left, become a minus. I see a 3 is common factor of 3 and 45, so I'll take the 3 out, and I'll get an x squared plus 2x minus 15. 3 is a factor, so I divided 3 into each one of these. Got x squared plus 2x minus 15. And this is a trinomial as a 1, so I'll use the two brackets. And the factors of 15 to give me, because I have x squared, let's go this way. Because I have x squared, I'll go x and x. The factors of 15, the product is negative 15. The sum is plus 2. Factors of 15 are 1, 15, 3, and 5. Which pair of factors gives me a 2? 3 and 5. So I'll put a 3 in and a 5 in. And the product is negative, so it has to be a negative and a positive. So I got a negative 3 and a plus 5. Multiply. Negative 15. Add 2. So now we have, there's only two factors because it's quadratic, so we can't say 3 is equal to 0. We can say x minus 3 equals 0, or x plus 5 equals 0. So x equals 3, and x equals negative 5. The 3, there's a constant here, will not give you a 0, because 3 cannot equal 0, so we can't use the 3. So the solutions are 3 and a negative 5. So that's some examples of solving by factoring. Now, I have some practice for you to do. If you wish, you may pause the video for each one of these and work them out and see if you can get them right. Here we go. We have to make it in x is a GCF. It's already ax squared plus bx. C is 0. So we take the x out. I get an x minus 3. X equals 0. Or x minus 3 is equal to 0. So x is 3. So the two answers, 0 and 3. And number 2, I have to make it equal to 0. So 4x squared minus 8x equals 0. The GCF, I'm going to factor. So 4 is common and x is common, a factor. So 4x squared divided by 4x is x. Negative 8x divided by 4x is negative 2. So we get two answers. So 4x equals 0, or x minus 2 equals 0. Divide by 4. X is equal to 0. 0 divided by 4 is 0. X is equal to 2. So the solutions are 0 and 2. Again, you have a quadratic, two solutions. You have an x squared quadratic, you have two solutions. And number 3, we have in right order, but notice now we have, this is x squared minus 4 squared. So that's the difference of two squares. So the difference of two squares can be written as x. The product is negative 16, so it's a plus and a minus. And the factors of 16, notice there's no 0 in the middle, so it's a plus 4 minus 4. Because when you add these two factors together, you get a 0. 0x. So x plus 4 equals 0, or x minus 4 equals 0. X equals negative 4. X equals 4. So the solutions are negative 4 and 4. We have a trinomial equal to 0, right order, and we're going to factor. Product is negative 3. The sum is, product is negative 3. When there's a 1 right here, this is the product, and that's the sum. The sum is negative 2. Factors of 3 are 1 times 3. So product is negative, and the sum is negative. It must be plus 1 minus 3. So bracket. So x squared is x and x. Factors of 3 are 1 and 3. And must be plus 1 minus 3. Multiply negative 3, add negative 2. X plus 1 equals 0. X minus 3 is equal to 0. X is equal to negative 1. X is equal to 3. Two solutions? Yes, because you have a quadratic x squared. Two solutions. Number 5, we have to arrange it in descending order. And when we do, we have to have ax squared plus bx plus c. The x, negative x moved over to become plus. The negative 2 moved over to become plus. Now I have a 3 here. 3 is not a GCF, so the product is a times c. 3 times 2, the product is 6. The sum is 1. And the factors of 6 are 1 times 6 and 2 times 3. But what factors of 6 will give you a 1? And that's, this can't work out. So what happens is I have to have a plus here to make this a minus. So the product is negative 6. 3 times negative 2. I couldn't work it out just then. But in order to make it work out, I have to have a plus there to make this a minus. So the product is negative. So the factors of 6 to give me a 1 is 2 and 3. And the 3 has to be going to be plus, so negative 2 plus 3. So 3x squared minus 2x plus 3x minus 2 equals 0. And we take out the x in the first two because we do the groupings. We're going to do it by groupings. X gives me 3x minus 2. Take out the plus 1 gives me 3x minus 2. And 3x minus 2 is a common GCF, so what's left is x and the plus 1. So 3x minus 2 equals 0, or x plus 1 equals 0. That's an R. So we go up here. That means 3x is equal to 2 divided by 3, and I get x equals 2/3. And right here, I get x equals negative 1. So the solutions are 2/3 and negative 1. Again, apologize for this is a plus here, making this a minus, so this will work. If I didn't work this way, I would have to have another method to solve it, which is coming up in the further videos. Number 6, we have to put it in descending order, x squared, then an x, and then the 12. 4x becomes a minus 4x. This is factorable. X, let's see, x squared is a 1 here, so it's easy, so it's x and x. Factors of 12 to give you a 4. Factors of 12 are 12 times 1 2 times 6, 3 times 4. Which factor give you 4? 2 and 6, 2 and 6. But the product is negative 12, the sum is plus 4. So it has to be plus 2 minus 6. Multiply negative 12. Add plus minus 4. So when we multiply these two, plus 2 minus 6, we get negative 12. When we add, we get a negative 4. So x plus 2 equals 0, or x minus 6 is equal to 0. X is equal to negative 2. X is equal to 6. So solutions are negative 2 and 6. Number 7, we have to have it in the order of ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. So we put it in descending order equal to 0. X squared, x and a number. 2 is a GCF of 2 is a factor of 6 and 4, so 2 can come out. X squared. Negative 6x divided by 2 is 3x negative. 4 divided by 2 is plus 2. And the 2 is out. So because that's a 1x squared, then we can use 2 brackets. X squared is x and x. The factors of 2. The product is plus 2. The sum is negative 3. So if the product is 2, the only factors of 2 are 2 and 1. The product is positive and the sum is negative, which means we must have 2 negatives. Negative 2 times negative 1 is 2. Negative 2 add on, negative 1 is negative 3. So we have it factored. We cannot use the 2 because we can't say 2 is equal to 0. So it's x minus 2 is equal to 0. Or x minus 1 is equal to 0. X is equal to 2. X is equal to 1. So the solutions are 2 and 1. There's 2 of them. 2 of them because it's a quadratic. Notice we can't use this 2 because there's only 2 factors. We can't say 2 equals 0. So the zeros lie here. Notice if you put a 2 here, you get 2 minus 2, you get a 0. If you put a 1 here, you get a 0. So you can see the answers right here without solving it out like this. But you can't say 2 equals 0. And number 8, we have to make it descending order, so the x squared goes first, then the x, and then the constant. So we have to factor. Product is negative 12. Sum is 4. So the product of 12 are 1, 12, 2, 6, 3 times 4. And what factors multiply to give you negative 12 and add to give you 4? It must be 2 and 6. And 2 is negative, the 6 is positive. So 4x squared minus 2x plus 6x minus 3 is equal to 0. So we grouping. See, 4 is not a GCF, so we have to do product and sum. A times C, negative 12 and 4, just to make sure. 2x comes out as a GCF, plus 3 comes out as a GCF. So 3 into 6 goes 2, 3 into negative 3 goes negative 2. So 2x minus 1, 2x plus 3 equals 0. 2x minus 1 equals 0. 2x plus 3 equals 0. 2x equals 1. Divide by 2. X equals a half. 2x equals negative 3. Divide by 2. X equals negative 3 over 2. And so the solutions for those two are a half and a negative 3 over 2. And we have number 9, solve and check. So x squared plus 3x minus 10 equals 0. Factors, 2 brackets, because there's a 1 here, is easy to factor. Factors of 10 to give you a 3 are 5 and 2. 5 is positive, 2 is negative. So x plus 5 equals 0. X equals negative 5. Or x minus 2 equals 0. X equals 2. So these are the solutions, but we're going to check them. Let's see if they're right. So x squared plus 3x equals 10. And we're going to check that we're going to check x equals negative 5. So negative 5 squared, negative 5, 25 minus 15, 10, 10 equals 10. So that's true. And we're going to check x equals 2. So write down the equation. 2 squared, 2. 2 squared is 4. 3 times 2 is 6. 10 equals 10 again. So that's the two solutions. So we solve them, and then we check them out by subbing in the two values into the equation in place of x. So both of them work out. So that's solving by factoring. If you like my video, click the like button, the subscribe button, and notification bell. More videos are coming. Visit my math website, www.mathfullyexplained.com, to find more information about me, my videos, and the content. That's the content that's on my YouTube channel called Math Fully Explained. Thank you for viewing my video. Bye-bye.